Like a ton of people waiting.
It's going live right now. All right.
We are live, everybody.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
Hello. Are you in here? Hey, guys, welcome in. We had a lot of people waiting. All right, so far. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
There's everybody.
All right.
Hey, guys, welcome in.
MLS Inc. Reseller Division. You are signed in. Welcome.
It's so great
Thanks for being here.
to have you guys here. I love that we already had 30 people waiting. We should have a really big turnout tonight. We'll see. But we are really, really excited about this. Hey, Kenneth.
Hey, what's up, Kenneth?
Great to see you guys. We're just going to give it a second before we get started. All right. Looks like we're having trouble streaming to Facebook. I posted the link on Facebook in case people can't get it, but do you want to let it keep trying or no?
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
I don't think it's going to try, but.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Butcher's wife, Amber.
Amber's here. Sunny Collectibles.
Oh, Butcher's wife. Guess what I've got? Got my Patriots mug.
You remembered. Oh, guys, it's so wonderful to have everybody in here. I thought that I turned down my volume. All right. Guys, if I'm looking over here, it's because I'm trying to moderate everything and get back to anything in the chat that I need to. But guys, welcome. And how was everybody's holiday season? Let us know a highlight in the comments. We're going to get started here in just a second. We're really, really excited. We got some awesome questions already that we're going to answer for you all. We also have giveaways. I'm really excited about the giveaways. Should I tell you guys already what the giveaways are? Should we just do that?
I feel like we should.
Okay. All right. So we will be giving away several months of My Reseller Genie, the ultimate plan. Whether or not you're a current user, you can enter to win. And we'll just basically ask you guys a question. And then whoever answers first, you will win, hopefully, a free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate. And then Courtney Dobek, who we have, who we're going to be bringing on here to answer all of your questions. She is offering, guys, a 30-minute free bookkeeping session that she will be giving away. So that's huge. That's so kind of her. Yeah. And we're really, really excited. Hey, Jill's here. Happy New Year, Jill. So great to have everyone.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to hear about the 30 minutes of bookkeeping.
Yes.
I knew we were giving away some free months and probably some people were maybe expecting that. But
yeah.
30 minutes of free bookkeeping, that's a pretty sweet, pretty sweet deal.
Pretty awesome. All right. So I think we're going to get started, but let me just tell you guys before we bring Courtney on just how this is going to go. So we already have some questions that we're going to be asking Courtney that will hopefully answer some of the questions that you guys have. And then after we go through that list that we have here in front of us, we're going to be taking your guys' questions in the chat. And how that's going to go is it's going to be first come, first serve. So whoever, we're going to be going back to the beginning and answering questions in the order that they came in. So hopefully we'll get to everybody. We're going to be closing things down at around 9 tonight. And yeah, we're excited. Should we introduce ourselves now or should we wait until Courtney comes on?
We should introduce ourselves now.
Hey, Alicia's here and Better Barbie. Hey, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here.
Why don't you introduce us?
Okay, yeah. So we're Paul and Faith, co-founders of My Reseller Genie. And if you don't know what we do, we're bookkeeping software that's built specifically for resellers. Mm-hmm. So our goal tonight is to provide some useful information to resellers about taxes. Our friend Courtney is kind enough to volunteer her time. Even though she's feeling a little bit under the weather tonight, she was like, I'm going to power through.
Yeah.
I know people want to hear this information, so she's here for us. And yeah, I think that's all I'll say about us. Yeah. We've been working with Courtney for over a year now. Mm-hmm. So she's familiar with My Reseller Genie. If you need somebody to help set up your Genie, maybe you don't want to spend time on it or whatever. She does setup. She does bookkeeping services. She does tax services. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
let's bring her on.
She's fantastic. All right, here we go.
All right. Hey,
Courtney's here. Hey, girl. Welcome in. All right. So Courtney, tell us a little bit. We just kind of introduced you, but tell us who you are. Tell us where you live and just a little bit about yourself.
So I was going to say I'm Courtney, the military spouse, but I'm not I'm a veteran spouse now. Now I'm a cop's wife. I have a dual master's in accounting and finance. I've owned my own firm for a year and a half now that I bought from Jennifer Manzos, which many of you have seen and talked to before. And I'm sorry in advance for my dog. He's on his own little tangent at the moment. And I'm sorry for my voice as it goes in and out with being sick. But I do bookkeeping services, like they said. I work a lot with My Reseller Genie. We talk probably once a week, if not more. Mm-hmm. And I do taxes for resellers, and I love what I do. And I live in North Carolina.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Thanks, Courtney. Yes, of course. Kenneth in the chat says, Courtney has helped me so much. That's awesome, Kenneth. Yep. She's very helpful. Also, we love how down to earth Courtney is, because I mean, let us know in the chat. Okay. I feel like we talk to a lot of resellers who are terrified of tax season and accounting. And so if that's you, or maybe not terrified, but you're a little bit timid or anxious about it, let us know in the chat if that's you. But one of the things that we love about Courtney is that she's really down to earth and just makes you kind of feel more relaxed and like, okay, I can do this. So yeah, we really, really appreciate partnering with you, Courtney. Okay. So before we dive into the questions, I did drop some links in the description of this video, and I'm going to go ahead and put them also in the YouTube chat as well. But we have another live coming up in 2 weeks that is specifically meant for us to demo the My Reseller Genie software. So go ahead, find that link. I'll drop it in the chat in a second too. But that's on January 18th, and Paul and I will be getting on, and we're just going to be showing you guys how the My Reseller Genie bookkeeping software for resellers works. Again, we'll be doing giveaways. We're really excited about that. And then also Courtney's scheduling link is also in the description, and I will also drop that in the chat. But if you guys are looking for bookkeeping, if you don't feel comfortable, doing My Reseller Genie by yourself, if you need tax filing services, all of that, go ahead and use that scheduling link. And with that, you ready to get going?
I'm ready to get going. All right. So do you want to start with the first one?
Why don't you start?
Okay. All right. So Courtney, you help a lot of resellers. What would you say to a reseller who's completely freaked out and just clueless about how to start accounting for their business?
The big thing is I would actually say meet with someone who knows the bookkeeping side of it, whether you hire them or not. That you don't, most of us don't. I don't want to say we don't care. We care, but you don't have to hire us, but at least have like a 30-minute to an hour session with a bookkeeper and actually learn what you need to keep track of. Because it can get very overwhelming. You could be in all the Facebook groups, watch all the YouTube videos, and a lot of it can just get overwhelming. And that's like the biggest thing I hear from resellers is they're just very overwhelmed and they don't know where to begin. So my recommendation, now that I've been doing this for a while, is actually set up a meeting with someone, a bookkeeper or a tax person, and just sit down and talk to them and figure out what you really need to know and keep track of, or sign up for My Reseller Genie, and they have amazing services too. Just know what you need and talk to someone. Don't just, I think YouTube and Facebook get overwhelming really quick and easily for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice. I mean, the way I think about it is, people, they spend entire careers doing this. And so if you spent zero time working on it, coming into it and just thinking that it's going to click somehow without doing any background work, it's that's not really going to work. You don't need to, invest all that time that a tax preparer or, professional accountant needs to, but you do need to put a little bit of time into it. So I really like that answer, Courtney.
Thanks.
Yes. All right, guys. I've just been updating the chat here.
Oh, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, of course. Okay. So awesome answers. Thank you, Courtney. Wait, so you asked the first one. Yes. Okay. So for a reseller who's starting from tracking nothing for their accounting or taxes, what advice do you have for them? What is a simple breakdown of the exact numbers they need to track to be covered? Kind of a long question.
I see one of my friends, Shay's in the chat, and me and her have had a couple of these talks. My thing is just sit down and start, break it down. The big things to know is your sale price, your sale date, your purchase price. Well, yeah, your purchase price, your purchase date, and how much you spent on shipping, whether you did it free or, like you paid for the shipping or the customer paid for the shipping, and the fees for the platforms. Like simple, just that would be like basic, simple is just knowing those few numbers. Obviously, you can go into a lot more details, but like when you're first sitting down, at least know your sale date, sales price, purchase date. And then if you can't figure out the fees, at least know if you paid shipping or if the customer paid for shipping, and go from there, and then spread out from there.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah. Okay. So, next one, I actually have a banner prepared for this. So,
Ooh, a banner.
yeah. So we get asked this question a lot about the difference between accrual inventory method and cash inventory method, because like those terms get thrown around a lot in the reselling community. So just in one sentence, cash inventory method records an expense when you buy inventory. Accrual inventory method records the expense when the item sells. So that's like easy way to think about that. As far as what you need to do for each method, that's a little bit different. So like when you're recording the expense when you buy the inventory, you're treating an inventory purchase like an expense right away. So that's pretty simple, right? You just, write it down in your ledger, whether that's your spreadsheet or My Reseller Genie or QuickBooks. And then you've got a total at the end of the year. For the accrual inventory method, it's a little bit different because you're not expensing until the item sells. But it's like, okay, well, how do you track that? Well, you associate the purchase date with each item, and then with each sale, and the purchase price as well. And what the IRS does is they ask you for 3 numbers: the beginning inventory balance, purchases during the year, and ending inventory balance. And then they use those numbers to calculate your cost of goods. And that really sounds like Greek. So I'm not going to like try and make it click right now, but if you like write down those 3 numbers and think about it a little bit later, it's beginning balance plus purchases minus ending inventory balance. And if you think about it for a couple of minutes, it might click for you. And it's like, oh yeah, that equation makes sense. But it sounds tricky. So with Genie, like we wanted to make that less tricky for people. So we just gave a template where you put in your purchase price and purchase date, and then we do all the math. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to use the accrual inventory method, just know that you'll need to be able to calculate those numbers.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys, a few more here on this list, then we're going to start taking questions in the chat. Okay, so Courtney, another one for you. Can I buy a car with my business?
So technically, yes, but it has to be 100% for business. And the one thing, like I've talked with other accountants, is most of the time, if you actually use the mileage that you use for driving, you actually make off better than if you're depreciating a car that you bought. So most of us don't just use a car for business. It's both personal and business. So in that case, just know your mileage, write down your mileage. Most accounting softwares, and I know even My Reseller Genie, I put in the mileage and then it calculates the dollar amount for you. Yep. So you don't have to like think of what the dollar is. Or like for me, my clients just give me their mileage and I put it in the software and it gives me the dollar value. So yes, in a sense you can, but usually since you use it for personal too, you just do the mileage and it ends up working out better in the end.
Sure. Awesome.
Cool.
Sorry.
The next one.
Yeah,
You're totally fine.
All right,
Courtney, thank you for being here, guys. Courtney is sick, bless her heart, but she didn't want to cancel on you guys. So thank you, Courtney.
All right, so I'm a reseller. I'm using my house for my reselling business. Can I deduct part of my house?
Yes, if you use it, that one area, 100% for business. So like this area that you can see me in is 100% just business. So I can take the square footage of this, and then you ultimately like divide it by your whole square footage of your house, and you do fun calculations. And yes, you can deduct part of your house, but the space, if the IRS was to audit you, needs to prove that it is 100% for business. It's not for personal. It's for business.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. These are like all really succinct and clear answers. It's really helpful. Okay, another deduction question. We got a lot of these. Can I deduct my cell phone bill? Can I also deduct my cell phone purchase?
So yes to both. But usually a lot of us now don't buy a cell phone outright. We like lease it and pay for it monthly. So it's a part of our phone bill. So ultimately what we do is you take a percentage of your phone bill that you use for business. So like we're all connected to these, but we're also doing personal stuff on these. So like for most people, around 50 to 75% of their cell phone use can be deducted for business. So yes, in short, yes. And if you purchase a cell phone outright, yes, you can deduct it as well. But most of us don't. Most of us don't want to pay those fees and just pay the monthly added onto our phone bill.
It's
so
a lot
it
of money.
gets added in that way. Yeah, very expensive.
For sure.
So how about inventory?
Oh,
All right, internet. Oh my goodness. I think about inventory so much.
Paul's still on the cash versus accrual inventory method definitions.
Yeah, how about home internet?
Yeah.
So yes, same thing for that. Because 90% of my time is up here on the internet. Usually, again, people are streaming, playing video games, all that stuff. So you can't do 100% of your bill, but you can do a percentage just like your cell phone for internet.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, and yeah, just to go off of, it looks like Cassandra in the chat, she actually asked a question about that. Can you deduct cost of household internet mixed use? Which it kind of goes along with what you were saying. So
yeah, you just do it at a percentage of your full bill.
And for that percentage, how do you go about calculating it? Is it just kind of saying this is about what it is and it has to be justifiable?
In a sense, like, so if the IRS was to come to audit you, you got to say that, yes, I'm on the internet from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then, that's your business hours. And over the year, most people sit at that 50 to 75%, especially if we're 100% working from home. So, at the end of the day, the IRS just wants you to be able to tell them that you truly can say, yes, I used it for 50% of the time is personal or business kind of thing. And if you can morally, ethically sleep at night with whatever number you give your accountant, that's what matters, or the number you and your accountant talk about. You just want to make sure you can stand behind your number and not just say 100%, because realistically, none of us are using our home internet 100% for our business.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome. That really helps. That's good. Can you ask the next one? I'm not quite ready to.
Okay, sure, yeah. All right. So how about for reseller conferences? Can I deduct my travel, my food, my hotel room?
So if it's for a business, absolutely. Now, if you do something while at a conference, like say you're in Las Vegas and you go and see a show, no, because that's a personal expense. That's you doing something personally. But your travel, your hotel, your meals, as long as it's 100% like business, yes. If part of your trip is personal meals, then you can do it at a percentage as well. Like in a lot of tax software, it actually will say like meals, what percentage is personal, what percentage is business, and you can do it that way as well.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, and then 2 more, and then we're going to do a giveaway, guys. Do I really need to keep up with my books throughout the year? Can I just do it all at the end of the year?
Do you really want me to answer this?
Yes, we do.
At least we're not in the middle of tax season this year.
Right.
But yes, you should do it throughout the year. As I even do in Whatnot shows, when I go in them, you'll see me. I'm Courtney Bookkeeper. I will, especially to my friends, I'm like, did you enter your receipts? Do you know your numbers? Because I do this on purpose, because you should, at the end of the day, know your numbers. You want to know if you're making money or not making money, especially if you sell more than one category in a sense, because some categories, some people do really well in, but you might not, just because of whatever. You want to know your numbers. Please know your numbers.
Yeah. No, that's good. And let me just kind of go off of that, Courtney. So For any of you guys who don't know Paul and I very well, like the reason we started My Reseller Genie and we wanted to make an accounting software for resellers was because my first tax season was a disaster and I hadn't been tracking anything. And it was absolutely miserable. I swear, I think I had a headache for like 3 months straight. It was so stressful. There were tears involved. And I didn't even know where to start. And so guys, like if you were waiting until the last minute, it's going to be miserable. But I love Courtney's answer even more because like we shouldn't just be motivated by, like the pain that could be coming, like we shouldn't just be motivated by the fact that, oh, we're going to be super anxious or we're going to be stressed. But like, guys, know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, then you don't know your business. And I can't tell you how like empowered I feel by knowing my numbers because I'm a reseller too. And just being able to see, okay, like, did I waste money on this inventory item? Like, should I source somewhere else? Should I source at a different time of year? Like all of these things are really, really helpful with that. So yes, definitely do your accounting throughout the year. And the cool thing is, this is the last thing I'll say about that. The cool thing is if you keep up with it, guys, some people, they can spend like 5 minutes a week and have everything updated, especially with My Reseller Genie, because we have a lot of integrations now and automation. So we're taking a lot of the time out of your bookkeeping and accounting that you have to do. Okay. And on that note, last question.
Okay. Yeah. So do you think My Reseller Genie is a good accounting software for resellers?
I feel like this is such as putting me on a spot, but yes, I do.
Oh, you're muted.
I muted myself. That's good. Yes, My Reseller Genie is a good software for resellers. I tell a lot of people to use it. I don't recommend the QB software for most resellers. Some do use it and it's fine for them, but I would prefer people to use My Reseller Genie because it's a lot more interactive for inventory needs and all that. Like, it's specific for you guys. It's very, once you get used to it, it's easy to use, or you hire someone like me and I go in it all the time for you. But yes, I highly recommend My Reseller Genie as often and as much as I can, and try to keep people away from other softwares that just don't do what I feel they need to know. Plus your graphs. I like your graphs. Maybe that's the nerd in me, but I like graphs.
Super fun. The graphs are super
fun. So it's time for a giveaway,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is time for a giveaway. All right, guys. So we are going to give away a free month of My Reseller Genie, the ultimate plan, which is the highest tier. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I have a question in mind. And unfortunately, because of the way that the chat goes, what might look like the first answer that pops up on your screen might be different from us. So the way that we're going to do it is the first correct answer that we see on our end is going to be the winner of this prize. Okay. So again, a free month, and I'm going to ask you guys the question. Are your typing fingers ready? Are you guys ready? Oh, Amy's here. Hey, Amy. All right, guys. What new integration did we just release for My Reseller Genie? Go.
That was a good question.
Thank you.
I like it.
All right, who's going to be the winner? There's a little bit of a lag.
Space Taco.
Space Taco. All right, Space Taco was the first one. Congratulations. You win a free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate Plan. Go ahead and email us at support@myresellergenie.com. As soon as you can, and then we will get you set up with your first free month, or I'm sorry, not your first free month, the free month of My Reseller Genie. If you're a current user, we'll go ahead and just apply that coupon to your account. So email us. I'm going to drop that email address in the chat. Congrats again, and we are going to be doing more of these. So now, guys, we are going to transition to taking questions in the chat. It looks like some of you guys have already written in, so we're going to go back and answer them in order. So Courtney, get ready. And also, guys, if you have not subscribed to our channel and liked this video, please go ahead and do that. We would really, really appreciate that. All right, you got the first question ready to go?
Yeah, first question.
All
right. So this is a really good one from My Family, My Blog. So if I don't remember the purchase date, what do I do?
So the good thing about that is a lot of times what I do is at the end of the year, you ultimately just need to roughly know what year you bought it in. You don't need to know, like, I bought it on March 1st, 2022 or March 1st, 2023. We just need to know the year because at the end of the day, it's all year numbers. So I always say, not that that's the best practice in some ways, but estimate roughly the year. And if you can do the month, even better, but at least get the year in there, because the year is what matters more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. For the math, that's really all you need. And I mean, as long as it's not like a outrageous expense that you're claiming the item cost, then I feel like you can justify it. So definitely ideal to have the exact date and the receipt and all that, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Yep.
All right. So Andrea, presumably you pull from the platform's reporting features. So I'm thinking this was around the time we were talking about accrual inventory method.
Yeah,
and if that's the case, yes, we have something called the inventory report, which you run it for the year, and it gives you your beginning inventory balance, purchases, ending inventory balance, and then the cost of goods from those numbers. So if that was for something else, just let us know in the chat and we'll come back to it. Oh, and Sandra asked the same question about purchase date. So popular question there. All right. So Heather's wondering if this is going to be available again. Yes, it is. This is being recorded to our YouTube channel. So for ever and for always, this video will be available for your viewing pleasure. Okay. We covered household internet. Okay, Kenneth, where and how do I put in the mileage on My Reseller Genie?
Do you want to go ahead and show them real quick?
Yes.
Courtney, you get a break.
All right, we'll remove Courtney from the stage. And all right. So what you would do is go to the expense detail, click add, and then if you type in mileage, there's two different mileage accounts. So one is for sourcing mileage and the other is for non-sourcing mileage. One of these, it basically just has to do with where in the profit and loss statement it shows up. So sourcing mileage, you can think of that as like mileage that's related to your sales process. Non-sourcing mileage is miles that are not related to your sales process. So this would be like if you're sourcing, and this would be like if maybe you're going to the airport to go to a reseller conference. All right, so you'll select that general ledger account, and then you'll type in how many miles you drove, like 24, put in the date. And if you want to do a description like sourcing to Goodwill, and then click add, and it pops up here and you'll see it calculates the expense for you. So the way we're calculating that expense is we use the IRS's standard mileage deduction for the time period in which you recorded that expense. And yeah, that's how you do it.
Oh, and we actually had a couple of Genie users who were asking when the new rate gets added into My Reseller Genie. It's already been added, and if you're having trouble seeing it pop up, you just need to refresh your screen. So
yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good point. Now this is a good one. All right, so Sandra, Courtney, this is for you. Can we deduct what we pay the previous year to do your taxes?
Yes, you can.
Woo, that's exciting.
To put it in simple, yes, you can. And even if you pay for like bookkeeping services, anything like that, for My Reseller Genie setup appointments, anything like if you paid me to do it, those are write-offs. Just FYI.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Get those write-offs so you don't overpay.
Yes.
All right. Sandra, another good question. Is your ending inventory your beginning inventory? Yes. So your ending inventory for 1 year is your beginning inventory for the next year. So that's one of the reasons it's good to stay organized, because if you fill out your tax forms in a certain way this year, then you get to next year and you're like, how did I make this number up? That's not a good feeling. So always good to keep detailed records. All right. This looks involved. All right. So recently had to expand the number of rooms used to hold inventory. In addition to the home office, can I now deduct 2 additional rooms used to store inventory and part of the garage?
So if those 2 rooms are 100% business, like no guest bedroom, no kids toy room, anything like that, then yes, you can deduct those additional rooms. Garages is where it gets a little tricky because the IRS could say, no, this is used for personal, and then they will not like it. So I kind of stay away from garages, especially if you're only using a part of it for that reason, because if the IRS wants to be, things, you could get in trouble. So if it's only part of your garage, I wouldn't deduct it because they could say this is still a personal space and it's not 100% for your business. But the additional rooms, yes, as long as they are 100% used for business.
Nice. All right. So question about acceptable mileage. I travel to my daughter's house in Pennsylvania a couple times a year and always stop at thrift stores on the way. And also, while I'm there, what mileage can I claim?
So this is where it gets tricky. Different people think different things. What I would say is when you leave your house and go to a thrift store, as long as you're leaving your house and going straight to the thrift store, that mileage can be included. But once you leave the thrift store to go to your daughter's house, no. Because at that point, you're kind of making a personal trip and that mileage will not count. At the end of the day, it's one of those really tricky, you got to be really careful with it kind of question. So it has to be like from the house to the thrift store, absolutely, because you are truly going to the thrift store for business. After that, it can get tricky where the IRS could say, no, that was personal, you were at your daughter's, all that type stuff. So just make sure you know that you truly just left a spot and went right to the thrift store and cut out that mileage. And now if you go from your house to the thrift store and back, you can count both ways. But if you're going from your house to the thrift store to somewhere else, like lunch or your daughter's, no, that doesn't really count.
Gotcha.
All right. So what is the best way to track or claim personal goods sold so it's not taxable or a loss from the original purchase price? So I think what they're saying is, how do I not pay taxes when I sell something personal?
Is that right, Sonny? Let us know if that's what you meant.
Hercules, stop.
So what do you think, Courtney?
So I don't know. Like, I almost feel this is going to be me being me as an accountant, almost feel like it's evading taxes. And I hate saying that word because you got to pay taxes on your income.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Even if it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because at some point you paid a purchase price and now you're selling it for income in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, with assigning values to personal goods, you're going to use accounting principle called lesser of cost or market. And so basically that means that you assign a value to the item you're selling that is either what you paid for it or what the current market rate is. And it'll be the lesser of those two. So it can get a little tricky, but like one method that you could use to try and assign a price is like looking on eBay at comparable items and saying, okay, this is the cost of this item. And then you assign that cost.
Would you like me to attach Mark's video?
Yeah, Faith will attach a video that kind of goes into it in more depth if you
Really
want to
helpful.
watch it. But that's kind of a surface level explanation. So yeah, if you're making a profit on it, you should be paying taxes. But definitely don't just put in 0 for your purchase price because there is a value associated with it.
Yeah.
All right. Can we deduct tolls?
If you're doing the mileage, no, because it's already included. Mileage ultimately covers like your gas, your insurance, your mileage, your like wear and tear on the car, all that type stuff. That's what that mileage covers. And usually if you were to deduct tolls, it wouldn't match what you're going to deduct in mileage anyways.
Cool.
Mileage will be higher.
Okay, so this is a good question. Kathleen says, I'm using the accrual method, but track when an item sells, not when funds pay out. Is this a problem at year end?
I don't think so, if I'm understanding this correctly, because you're still tracking it when the item sells. So you should be fine. I don't see a problem with this at all.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, like with reselling businesses, is typically the difference between when you get the cash versus when you sell the item. It's usually like less than 10 days. So it doesn't make that much difference in terms of the numbers that you have at the end of the year. So as long as you can support whatever revenue total that you're claiming for the year, you should be fine.
These are all great questions, guys. This is awesome. Also, we're going to do another giveaway soon. So hang in there.
All right. So we already answered this one. This is a really good one. I'm so glad you asked this, Sandra.
Yes.
All right. So
we get this one a lot.
buy from a garage sale with cash. What do we need to do to record for taxes?
So you would record it as a purchase like you would anything else is your inventory. Well, it depends, I guess, if you're doing cash or accrual method. So for cash, you would just record it as like you purchased it. For accrual, you would have to go into your inventory and write in those purchase price and purchase dates.
Yeah. What do you think about like making a receipt? Do you think that's necessary?
I like when people do that. It's a little cleaner and easier, especially if you don't end up like listing that item right away, or you're not putting like, if you're not, especially if you're not using like My Reseller Genie and putting your inventory right away, it's good to have that receipt. So like if you're like some people and you wait till the end of the year, you can remember what you purchased and everything. So making a receipt is not a bad idea. I do recommend that to certain people.
Sure. And with that, like what all would be important to have on a receipt? Just like what are the bare minimum basics that you would want to put on a receipt?
The item, the date you purchased it, and the purchase price. It doesn't really matter where you bought it from or anything like that. And you can even write like you used cash, just so you know, like if you pull a bank statement and you want to do reconciliation, you can see that you had pulled cash from your bank.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you.
Right. Well, we had a lot of people answering right on that integration question.
For the Poshmark.
Oh, so glad you're liking the integration, Annie.
Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, we did just release Poshmark integration in the My Reseller Genie software. We already have eBay integration, which is fantastic. We have bank integration, but Poshmark was released the first of this year. So all of your listings, your sales, any canceled sales, all of your fees are automatically brought into the My Reseller Genie app.
Yeah. And actually, before we move on to this next question, I do want to clarify a detail that some people may be asking. So for the canceled sales, when we bring those in, we also record a return. So it like zeroes out that transaction. But that's important. It's important to have the record of both the sale and the cancellation, because on like 1099Ks, Poshmark will include the revenue from the canceled sale. So you want to have that listed separately, and then you back it out with a return in your accounting records. So that's the big deal with that, because on Poshmark sales reports, canceled sales do not show up. Okay. Selling collectibles. If I purchase from a church thrift shop, can it be considered a donation, or is it still a purchase? Is one way better than the other?
That's a great question.
So it's still considered a purchase, unfortunately, in the tax accounting world. Like I can see why people want to say it's a donation, because in a sense you're donating to the church, but in the tax world, it's considered a purchase, unfortunately.
Cool. All right. And I know we've answered this question already. I just want to highlight it again. So if you're selling personal items, you should claim an expense because there's a value associated with the item. And Faith dropped a link for a video that talks about the lesser of cost or market. That will help you to kind of understand how you assign a value to that item.
I will go ahead and drop that link again if I can find that comment.
All right. So Jason, any rules of thumb when entering the purchase price of an item if in reality you can't remember and you picked it up at a thrift store or yard sale? Just use typical thrift store pricing?
I try to say recommend using, you can use typical thrift store pricing because in a sense, I always tell people to estimate it if you don't know. If you can, go look and see how much you pulled when you, if you pulled cash for that thrift store time and you can roughly remember when, see if you can do it that way. But an estimate is okay, but it's not, again, best practice. But I know sometimes in reality, especially with some clients when we're catching up from years ago, all we can do is estimate. We can't give the actual price. So just give the best pricing you can.
Yeah. I mean, if typically you're purchasing at a thrift store and okay, yeah, this shirt would go for $3 or $5, then it's okay, that's a reasonable estimation.
Yeah.
All right. So Kenneth, this is going to be a little hard to answer without doing a live demo. So
can you read it first, just in case people are?
Yeah. So how do I handle you have new returns to review? For people who don't know, in My Reseller Genie, if you have Poshmark or eBay integration hooked up, we pull in all your transactions every day. And so if you have a return or a cancellation or a refund, you'll get this notification that says you have new returns to review. So basically with that, I hope I don't confuse people by saying that. Okay. So basically the return or refund or cancellation will be matched to the sale that it's related to. So what you need to do is first update that sale. So if you need to match it to inventory or do anything to update the sale before all the details are correct on it, start by doing that. And then for the return, there's 2 questions you answer. One is, has the sale been finalized? So it's just confirming you've added all the details you need to on the sale. And the second is, did you receive the item back? So you just answer those 2 questions and then you're done. You just click I don't remember what the button says. It's review or complete or something like that. So Kenneth, if you need further clarification, feel free to reach out to us via email and let us know if there's any hangups. Okay.
Yeah. And again, guys, if you didn't hear, we are having a live demo of the My Reseller Genie software on January 18th. So I will go ahead and link that. You do not need to get a ticket. They're all free. But we just like to do that because once you sign up for the ticket, you'll get emailed the link and all that. And it's just a nice
calendar,
way to remind you. And
notification.
Stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's the live is actually already in our YouTube channel. If you go over to the lives tab, and you can just hit get reminder there. But I will go ahead and plug that link as well. And we're going to answer one more question, then we're going to do a giveaway.
Oh, nice. All right. Dave Rice, what's the best way to handle a second or third eBay store? So I'm assuming you're meaning in My Reseller Genie. And what I would say is on our ultimate plan, there's an option to add additional eBay stores for an extra $5 per month per store. So if you're on Ultimate, you can click the little person icon, then say manage subscription, go to Stripe, and on your Ultimate plan, increase the quantity to however many stores you have, and then click the update button, and you'll be able to add additional eBay integrations so you can connect those stores and all your data gets pulled into Genie. When you connect them, it's going to ask you to name the integration. So just name it something that you can identify the store. For example, the store name. So that's the best way to handle additional eBay stores. All right, let's do our giveaway.
All right, Courtney, should we do yours or should we give away another month of Genie?
We can do mine.
All right.
Yeah, let's do Courtney's.
Okay, so Courtney, can you tell us again what you are giving away?
A 30-minute free bookkeeping session. So with that, it can be tax questions, it can be bookkeeping, it can be My Reseller Genie. Ultimately, it's 30 minutes that we can use however you want to use.
That's amazing. That's incredible. Okay, so I think that it would only be appropriate then for us to ask a question that people heard Courtney talk about. Wow. Okay, sorry guys. I can't talk. Wow. Okay. So Courtney shared a little bit about herself in the very, very beginning of this video. So why don't we pick a question about Courtney, and whoever is the first person to drop the correct answer in the chat wins. Okay. So help me. Okay. Wait, I have a good one. What animal does Courtney have in her home right now? Or what? Oh no, we all know this, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be more animals.
Well, right, I know, but the one that we all there we go. Okay, the butcher's wife. She was correct. All right, dog. Yes, Courtney has a dog.
There's a cat too who's currently causing trouble now too. So
that's right. Yes, but only the dog is a
bird.
A dog named Hercules.
Yes,
which
it's such
I
a
love.
Cool name.
That
it's
is
so awesome.
That is such a great name for a dog.
That is awesome. Okay, so congratulations, Butcher's Wife. What I'm going to do, instead of you emailing us, which is what we usually do for our giveaways, I'm going to drop Courtney's Calendly link, which is just a scheduling link. And Courtney, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a link there for a 30-minute bookkeeping session, right?
Yeah, but I can send them, actually have them email me, because then I can send them a link that I don't send to everyone that has the free, so they can go in just like Calendly, but I have it blinded in a sense.
That makes sense. Okay, great. So Butcher's Wife, I'm going to go ahead and drop Courtney's email address in the chat, and then you can go ahead and email her and claim that free prize. Congratulations, guys. 30 free minutes of bookkeeping. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Come with your questions.
Yes. Have them written out.
Be prepared. Like, make use of that time.
Yeah. Okay. So Ronnie's asking, does the drive back home from sourcing count as an expense?
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you're not doing anything personal in between, yes.
All right. Perfect. All right. So Sandra, I'm guessing this is a My Reseller Genie question about adding expenses for poly bags and such. So you'll need to be on either premium or ultimate right now to track. Yeah, I can do that.
Give Courtney a little break.
Yeah. Courtney, I'm going to remove you again. All right. So you'll need to be on either ultimate or premium for this, because the basic doesn't have the expense detail. Basic is really just oriented for people who are looking for an easy way to track their sales and inventory using the accrual inventory method. Okay, that being said, you'll go to the expense detail tab. Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can manually add them by just using this add button and selecting a general ledger account. If there's not an account that matches up with the business expense, you can click add new account and create the account. The other options are, if you have like a list of your expenses, maybe in an Excel spreadsheet you've been tracking throughout the year, you can click on this bulk upload button, and then you can upload that list. We actually just recently implemented a new upload feature that is better than it used to be. You don't have to use our template anymore. You can just upload a file and then match the columns to the fields in My Reseller Genie. And then the third option is, if you have a business bank account or business credit card, you can actually connect it to My Reseller Genie. So you click profile icon, integrations, and then click connect on the expense account. You'll name it, and then when you click select account, that'll take you to a menu where you can search for your bank, find it, and then log in. We don't have every bank in the world, but there's over 11,000 different institutions we can connect to. So odds are decent. All right, so I hope that answers your question, and we will bring Courtney back.
She's back. Really quick, guys, can you let us know in the chat, how is the Wi-Fi? Is everything coming through clear and well for you guys?
All right, great. So Alicia, I track mileage on the Stride app. So I have my bulk mileage for the year. How'd you go about adding that, since it's the total and not individual trips? So that's great. There's nothing wrong about entering just one bulk entry for the year, as long as you have that detail in your Stride app to support it. So I mean, depending on how detailed you want to go, if you wanted to break it up by month so that you could see your mileage each month, I could see an argument for that. Or if you're just like, I don't need that level of detail, I'm going to enter it all in December, that's fine too. It'll just show up on your profit and loss statement when you run it for the whole year. But yeah, definitely keep a detail of the mileage, and then you can aggregate it in your accounting software.
Fantastic. And really quick, Alicia, the inked picker, I want to plug her really quick.
Yes.
Guys, so Alicia is one of, I think it's 5 people. Is that right? Alicia, correct me if I'm wrong. One of 5, resellers who are doing their first ever reseller meetup in the Midwest. So it's Omaha, right? Is that right? I believe it's in Omaha. It's going to be in February of this year, towards the end of February. Alicia, if you can go ahead and drop the website link in the chat. But guys, basically, this is going to be a reseller meetup. Paul and I, My Reseller Genie is one of the sponsors. I believe Vendu is also sponsoring, and so is deduct, who is a new district selling platform. But yeah, Alicia, go ahead and drop that link. Guys, if you're in the Midwest, or even if you're not, maybe you want to just take a little vacation out there and fly there. Guys, it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great resources in networking for resellers. We've been to several of these events before, and they're just a whole lot of fun. And we've been really, really impressed by how Alicia and the team are putting this event together. They've been really on top of it. It's well organized. It's going to be well worth the money. So Alicia, definitely go ahead and drop the website link in there in case anybody wants to grab a ticket and go.
Yeah. If you haven't been to one of the like reselling events, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's great for just like feeling like you're a part of something.
Yeah.
Resellers work alone most of the time. And I don't know, I mean, by the time February comes around, you've been through all those cold months.
Oh gosh.
It's kind of nice to have some friends. So think about it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
All right, Jason, if we're playing catch up and have mileage logs for the year, can we just enter the, oh yeah, we just covered this. Good question, Jason. Okay. All right, so Amber, if I have one room inside the house and another studio outside the house as both workspaces, can I add both as workspace? Another studio outside the house. I wonder if that's like a shed or something.
Yes, in a sense. If it's a studio, like people pay rent for studios or storage units. Again, studio is 100% for business, home business. Yes, you can actually claim the rent for that studio.
Cool.
So I hope that answers that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it does come down to if it's 100% for business use. If you have questions about it or like how to do it, definitely chat with an accountant or bookkeeper.
Yes.
All right. So can we assign ourselves an hourly rate and deduct for this meeting as education?
I wish, but no.
Yeah.
Good question. Good try.
Yeah, it is a good question. It's a good question. If only.
But like if you had to pay for this event, then yes, you could have deducted the fee.
Yeah. But your time is not deductible.
No.
I guess that's a larger discussion about like payroll versus owner's distributions and everything. But yeah, basically no.
Nice try.
All right. This is a great question. Thank you for asking it, Jacob.
Yes, it is a good one.
Will Reseller Genie ever have a place that we can store pictures of receipts? So yes, this is on our list. It's not in active development, and I will say there's other features that are prioritized ahead of it, but it's 100% on our list, and we do recognize it's some important functionality to add. So yes, we're going to be adding it, but but sorry, it's not in process right now.
Yeah. Oh, I will just tell you guys though, something that I do for my reseller receipts. Obviously, you can keep a box of paper ones. There's no problem with that. Personally, I like to store mine digitally. And so I'll just snap a picture of mine whenever I'm done with it, I'll snap a picture of mine. And then I'll create an album in my phone camera for, 2023 reselling receipts. And it works out great. Just make sure, make sure that your phone is backed up, make sure, all of that
Yes.
they're not going to get deleted.
Yes.
So.
Take advantage of that cloud.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the extra storage. All right. So Laura wants to know, can you elaborate on line 36 on the Schedule C? Which purchases is it referring to? If I'm expensing inventory cost at the time of sale and expenses are being listed on a different area of the form. All right. So expensing inventory at the time of sale. So it sounds like you're using the accrual inventory method. Expenses are listed on a different area of the form. Let me pull up the Schedule C real quick. See which one line 36 is.
Courtney, do you know off the
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but I don't right now. Yay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's
I think that's the cost of goods section, or am I wrong?
I think you're right. Yeah, it is. It is the cost of goods section.
So that's the section where if you're doing accrual, your purchase, because you'll have your beginning inventory, your purchases, that's your purchases that you had spent on those items. So
Yeah.
even if you, and even if you do cash, a lot of times you put the purchases in there too.
Yeah,
For
so like
accrual. It doesn't matter.
The way cash people handle it is on line 36, they'll put whatever they purchased for the year, and then they'll put 0 and 0 for, or sorry, not 0 there, 0 for inventory at beginning and 0 for inventory at the end.
Yeah.
Accrual people, they put an actual number for the inventory balance, how much they bought during the year, and then ending inventory balance.
Yeah. So no matter which method you use, that's just your purchases.
Yeah. Yeah. So like inventory purchases won't be put somewhere else on the Schedule C. It's going to go there.
Awesome, guys. Again, if you're just joining us, we are answering questions in the order that they came. So I know that there's a lot of questions. We're trying to get through them as quickly as possible.
Okay. So what range of sales would you recommend getting an accountant for help during tax season? So I think we're probably going to need clarification on this. I'm guessing you mean like when you're making a certain amount of money.
Okay, so it looks like you already dropped that in the chat. So Ronnie's saying more details regarding this question. I am new to all of this starting like 4 months ago, and I'm only in the $1,500 sold range right now. Is it worth getting an accountant for filing or do it myself?
Okay. Yeah, what do you think, Courtney?
So I recommend, especially your first year, to always hire an accountant because there are a lot of deductions out there for businesses. And I don't think everyone, I've noticed at least when using certain softwares, you don't know those deductions. You don't know where to put those deductions. So you don't always get to claim all the deductions. So no matter what sales range, and I work with clients that make $500 a year and clients who make a lot more, you just got to work with your budget, work with an accountant who knows reselling. But I highly recommend, especially in the reselling world, to use an accountant because it helps with a lot of the deductions, new tax codes that keep coming out. So like for me personally, every year I take tax courses again. I take over 20 hours of courses and get recertified ultimately to be able to do taxes. So not all accountants do this. We don't have to. It's just something I have personally decided for my business. I do. So
good for you.
Sorry, that was a plug for myself. I just realized.
I'm going to drop Courtney's link again, guys. She does offer bookkeeping services, My Reseller Genie services, taxes services, all that. Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
No.
I mean, like the worst case scenario, it sounds like, Courtney, what you're saying, the worst case scenario, if you don't use an accountant, is that you may have to pay more in taxes. Is that right? Because like you won't know of all of the deductions and stuff. So
pretty much.
nobody wants to pay more in taxes.
No, and the other good thing, this is going to sound horrible, but if you get audited and you're not using an accountant, all the audit, when you have to go to an accountant to get audited, all those additional fees, because an audit is expensive. I won't even try to sugarcoat it. An audit is expensive.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to drop Courtney's scheduling link in case anyone is interested in her. Her prices are also very, very affordable in our opinion. So she's fantastic.
Yeah. All right. So should we apply for the tax exemption so that we're not charged taxes at thrift stores?
So this is a tricky one because every state is different. Every state has different requirements for this. Some states still will require you to file monthly forms for it. Some require quarterly. So this is a very state specific question. I wish there was a quick answer, but I have come to learn there is no quick answer for this. It sounds great to have the tax exemption, but when you look into some of the other things that go along with it, it ends up not being as beneficial as you want it to be.
So basically, you should probably meet with an accountant to get the exact answers that you need on that one.
Yeah, and really know your state regulations for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, possibly even if like you have maybe a meetup group or something of other resellers, you might be able to talk to other resellers who have experience with that. Maybe they'll tell you it's a great idea. Maybe they'll tell you don't waste your time.
Yeah, and I have clients who have said both things to me, so that's why I say it's very specific to you and your state.
All right. So will this be an app at some point? Yes, there will be a mobile app at some point
For My Reseller.
For My Reseller Genie. I will say that it's always a balancing act with development. So we really try and prioritize what the most users are asking for, but we recognize that there's a good amount of value add to have a mobile component to the application. I don't think you can have a cell phone based accounting application that really does a good job for you ultimately, unless you have a tiny business with very little transactions. But yes, we will be adding a mobile app to just kind of as a supplement eventually.
Yeah, for sure. And all right, guys, we are going to start flying through the rest of these questions because there's still a lot, which is so awesome. They've been really, really good.
How do you deduct donations?
So the best way is do not write donations, write damaged goods. Because you're getting rid of the items no matter what. Donations can get tricky with the IRS and they expect to see that it's coming from like nonprofits and you have all this stuff. Whereas if you write damaged goods, it's not as, what's the word? Not as much of a red flag, I guess is the best way. And ultimately it's the price you paid for the item is the price for the damaged goods.
Nice. All right. If we pay tax on thrift store items, do we just put that cost of state tax in the cost of goods?
You kind of just don't use that number in a sense. I don't know the best way to put this because you just use the purchase price without the taxes included for most things, because then you'd be paying taxes on extra stuff.
So I think he means like when you're entering purchase price for the item, would you include the sales tax that you paid on that item?
No.
To get a larger deduction?
No. You just do the purchase price. Usually.
And how would you write off the sales tax?
Again, can be state specific. Some states have a spot where you can put in your sales, like what you paid for sales taxes. Other ones just have you kind of, I don't want to say ignore it, but in a sense, that's kind of what you do. Okay. So it's a tricky one because it can be different for everyone.
Gotcha. Okay. So talk to your accountant about it.
All right, guys, 3 more questions, then we're going to do another giveaway.
All right. How do you log things differently in MRG based on what method you're using? So really this comes down to, do you track inventory in My Reseller Genie or not? If you're using the accrual inventory method, then for every item that you have in inventory, you'll create an item in My Reseller Genie and then have the purchase price and purchase date assigned to it. When you record the sales, you will tie the sale to the inventory item. If you're using the cash inventory method, you won't have any inventory items. You won't have purchase prices assigned to your sales. You'll just have the sale details on the sale, like sale price, and then any fees tied to the sale. And you'll record your inventory purchases in the expense detail. Okay, still can't get any sales to post past September 2023. Any advice? So I'm not sure without looking at your situation. So send us an email and we'll give you some tailored advice.
And for everyone listening, that was a My Reseller Genie specific question. Really quick, I just want to go back and address this. So we just had a couple people who were, I think, a little bit surprised by Courtney's answer from that last question. So you don't include the sales tax paid as part of cost of goods. And a couple people are just confused about that. So Courtney, you're just saying it's tricky, right?
It's tricky. Like, it's one of those, like, yes, it can be, but some states have very specific ways of how it has to be reported. So
Gotcha.
I don't know how to explain it. I guess you could take an average of your sales cost per item and do it that way.
Okay.
All right.
I don't know. Do you have a better answer, Paul? I don't know how to.
So, I mean, for us in Maryland, I always assign the sales tax in the item's purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess
mean,
that's what I should have said.
Yeah, I don't know for other states, because I mean you're dealing with a bigger group, like you have more knowledge about how other states handle things. But in Maryland, at least, I've always assigned the sales tax to the purchase price.
Yeah, I guess best practice is you can do that and then just make sure with your state that you're following your state rules.
Cool.
There you go.
Sorry,
all right. So
I confuse people. That's not what I meant to do.
No, you're good.
All right. So how do you notate the inventory? Oh, great. We talked about this. So you said recorded as damages. That's the.
Yeah. It goes in other expenses as damaged goods, ultimately.
Cool. Okay. And you said giveaway now?
Yes, it's time for giveaway. I need your help with a question though. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, what question are we going to ask, folks? Okay, so basically, guys, the rules are we're going to ask you guys a question. First one in the chat to get the answer correct on our end is going to win a free month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate. If you already won something tonight, please be nice and courteous and don't enter again. All right. Do you have any questions? Any good ideas for questions? I have one.
Oh, great.
Okay, now this is going to be a little bit easy because there's like 4 correct answers that you could give. So hopefully you'll be right. What is one event that My Reseller Genie attended last year in 2023? Go. FlipCon, Alicia. Yes, girl. All right, Alicia, the Inks Picker is the first one to get that answer correct. Good job. Alicia, go ahead. I know that you have our email address, but I'll drop it again. Email me and I will go ahead and add a free month of Genie into your account. Congratulations. All right, and let's get back to the questions. Got about 20 minutes left. Yes, Reseller Rally, Las Vegas, Boss Reseller Remix, FlipCon, all that. Yep, went to all of them. They were fun.
Yeah. All right, so Atlas Wanderlust. I don't know how to say that. I'm just like,
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I just need to say it faster with more confidence. Do we have a referral program? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Reach out to Faith.
Yeah. Go ahead. Shoot me an email.
My Reseller Genie.
We do have an affiliate program.
All right. So I sell something for my daughter. I deduct all fees and she gets the remaining money. How do I handle this besides avoid it?
You ultimately, so I have some clients who do like consignment sales and they give like a percentage of their profits to the people they consign. It's ultimately the same thing. You're just going to deduct it from your income in a sense, the amount of that profit that you had for it, and give it to your daughter. You just make sure it's not accounted towards your income, whatever you give her. It's the quick answer, I guess.
All right. Scrolling past all of the dogs.
All the answers. All right, guys, while he's finding the next one. Oh, never mind.
I already found it.
Go for it.
Yes, it would be a expense that is tax deductible.
I want to read the question too, just in case people are listening and not watching the screen. So Sunny's just asking, MRG would be a subscription / expense that is tax deductible. The answer is yes.
Cool. And thank you, Cindy, for the shout out. Appreciate that.
Yay.
All right, so Rebecca says, when purchasing info from a store or estate sale that charges tax, do you list the entire amount? Okay, yeah, so we talked about this earlier. It's best to look at your state's regulations. I think there's a good number of states where you can just list it in the purchase price, but double check that that's how your state has you handle it. Okay, here's a good question. Do you suggest the accrual or cash inventory method? We currently do accrual. What would be the best way to switch from accrual to cash?
You know my thoughts on this one.
Well, we do. Everyone else might not.
So I do accrual, and I do accrual only. I do, like, if you do cash, we kind of work it out, but overall, I highly recommend accrual, but you can technically do both. But if you are to switch methods, the IRS will ask why you're switching methods. What are you doing? Kind of thing. There are questions and stuff to be answered if you are switching methods. I would not recommend switching from accrual to cash.
Cool. You know, it's good for accountants to be heard, Courtney.
All right. My bad.
All right. So Dylan says, how do we take money out of the business account for personal use, say to pay a personal bill?
You just take it out. You, in a sense, you don't put it as a business expense. You just delete it. I do it all the time. I have, there's times I just use my business checking account when I'm at a grocery store or something, because that's the card I have on me. And I just delete it, in a sense, from expenses. Yeah, no harm, no foul.
Yeah. With resellers, you're small businesses. And so anything you are taking out, that's part of your profit. Yeah. And so you just wouldn't record it as an expense. That's the big thing. Don't record it as an expense, because it's not an expense. It's just part of your profit that you're spending.
Yep.
All right. Can you deduct reference books? For example, my glass books, because I sell glass. Awesome question.
Yes. If the book is for your business, you can deduct it. Oh, I don't have them on my desk right now because I just moved my desk. But I have a pile of tax books that I bought this year. And yes, I can deduct those. So if you are buying books, like for you, glass books, yes, you can deduct them because they are for your business.
Cool.
But again, if the IRS asks you, make sure you can say that.
All right. So we did cover this already. I added my expenses for attending FlipCon, flight, hotel, etc. Was I correct to count it as a business expense? So yes, as long as it's for the business.
Yes. My favorite line, as long as it's for the business.
All right. Okay, and this is basically the same question that was asked before. Is it necessary to record funds paid from business account to personal account? So it won't be an expense. Depending on which accounting system you're using, you might record it as like a owner distribution.
Yeah, owner's draw.
Yeah, right now, My Reseller Genie doesn't have owner's draws. So if you're trying to figure that out in My Reseller Genie, no. But your accounting system might have owner's draws. And eventually, My Reseller Genie will have owner's draws. Okay, so with receipts being on fax type paper, is it best to scan in Dropbox digitally so the type does not fade over time on those receipts? I like this question. Having done accounting for HVAC company previously with Home Depot receipts and everything, that I swear after a month, it's just like the ink is gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Digital copies are always great because ink does fade on certain receipts.
Right. Ronnie says more
Oh,
details. Oh,
we already
right.
answered
We
that.
already did that. Yay.
Okay, this is great.
Rebecca, do we report every purchase, even if it is in our death pile?
Yes.
All right, cool. Simple answer. I love it.
Cool.
All right, next one. If you use the cash method, can you deduct things like gas, shipping supplies, etc.?
Yeah. The main thing with the difference between the two methods is how you do inventory. Nothing else is affected.
Yeah. And just to highlight one thing there, so you mentioned gas. If you are deducting mileage, don't deduct gas as well, because the mileage covers the gas. Same thing goes for like car expenses and stuff. So you got to do either mileage or expenses. All right. I sell on Mercari and Poshmark for tax purposes. Am I considered a business, even though I don't have a business license?
Yes, because you're making some sort of income, so you have to do a Schedule C.
Perfect.
I'm loving all of these straightforward, simple answers. We actually
Absolutely.
might end at 9, guys. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. Joseph says, will I receive a 1099 form from eBay? So Courtney, I'll try and save your voice. Maybe. Maybe. So there's been a lot of, government's been saying we're going to change the threshold, and then going back and saying we're not changing the threshold this year. It's going to happen next year. So where we're at right now is for 2023. If you have done, let me try and get these details correct. I'm blanking. I know it's over 200 transactions,
200 transactions.
and $20,000 on a selling platform. They're required to send you a 1099-K.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you did less than that, they can still send you one,
Mm-hmm.
but they probably won't because it's extra work for them. But there's no telling. Like a couple years ago, Faith had just gotten onto eBay and hadn't done a ton of sales, and we got a 1099-K from them.
Yeah.
So
it just depends.
It could happen, but those are the requirements for if they would send you one.
All right. Guys, for anybody who is a current user of My Reseller Genie, he's trying to find the next question here. But for anybody who's a current user of Genie, we did just announce that we are doing our big giveaway again this quarter. So go ahead into the Facebook users group if you haven't joined that. I will link that, and you can look at the details there.
All right, cool. So we did cover this, Sandra. If you're claiming mileage, you can't claim car repair as well. All right, I log consignment share as cost of goods. Will that work? All right, Courtney, give us your thoughts on this.
Sorry. Are they asking like?
So I think what they're saying is they sell somebody else's item and then they pay that person a commission. Can they record that commission as a cost of goods?
So you would just record it as regular income. You would not put it in like your beginning inventory, ending inventory.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you pay that person, whatever rate you're paying them, you just record that payment as a commission expense. It would not be your cost of goods. All right. Oh, this is good. Well, it's not good that you're being stolen from.
Oh, no.
In addition to online sales, I sell in person at an antique mall. From time to time, there is theft of items.
Oh, man.
How do I account for those at tax time?
Damaged goods, stolen goods, damaged goods, same thing. So that's how you would.
Yeah. Yeah. And in Genie, if you're tracking your inventory, you just record a sale for $0 and make the sale platform damaged. So then you can see a detail of all those at the end of the year.
Really easy to do.
Okay. How hard is it to, I'm guessing you meant switch to the other way, to switch from cash to accrual? So it's going to be just as difficult. Like you'll need to justify it to the IRS. It, involves some more scrutiny. So yes, it will be just as difficult.
All right, Rebecca, when driving to Home Depot to purchase a box for shipping, would I report the mileage and the cost of the box as expense?
As long as you're only going to Home Depot for business. But if you are doing anything personal at Home Depot, no.
All right.
Gotcha.
And yes, the cost of the box, no matter what, if it's for your business, is an expense.
Nice. All right. Annie says, okay, so in regards to the death pile purchases question, do we still need to have all inventory for 2023 recorded in MRG, even if it's not listed yet? How do we do that if we were using the eBay integration? Great question, Annie. So if you're using the eBay integration, what we tell people is before you file your taxes, list all of the items from your death pile so that it gets pulled in and you can have it all accounted for. The other alternative would be you create manual entries in your inventory for those purchases. But there's a few months before you need to file your taxes. So I would just say prioritize listing those death pile items and getting them accounted for. And make sure you do that before you file your taxes, because the numbers on your inventory report, they will change if you list them after your taxes and then put in the purchase date.
Is that even with cash?
So with cash, it's going to be a different scenario because you're expensing the inventory as you purchase it. You don't need to worry about that because you've already recorded the expense.
All right, guys, we are nearing the end of our time. Let's do another giveaway while a few other last questions trickle in. All right, I have a question. First one to drop it in the chat correctly wins a free month of My Reseller Genie. How many selling platforms is My Reseller Genie compatible with? This is one of my favorite questions to ask. Go. Dun, 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 dun. I feel like we need like our own waiting music.
Yeah, music's good. Otherwise, we're just kind of...
Okay, 2, 12, 2. Wait, oh no, I think we missed a few. 12, 2, 8. I'm so glad that I asked this because...
Cassandra.
Thank you. Okay, we got a lot of wrong answers, so I'm really glad that I asked this. Okay, Cassandra, I hope that I'm saying your name right. We are compatible, guys, with any and all selling platforms. That is different than having an integration with a selling platform. Currently, we only have integrations for both Poshmark and eBay. We also have bank integration, but that's slightly different. But we are compatible with all selling platforms, which means that you can track all of your reselling data from any and all selling platforms. It's just going to require a little bit more manual entry, but like you can bulk upload with reports and things like that. Even if you sell at like an antique booth or sell a pair of sneakers to your neighbor across the street, you can add it all into My Reseller Genie, because good accounting is only good if it's comprehensive.
Right.
All right, so Cassandra, go ahead, shoot us an email at support@myresellergenie.com to claim your prize.
All right. Sandra, how do we get your ending inventory? So in My Reseller Genie, you'll just record all of your sales for the year, all of your inventory for the year, and then attach a purchase date and a purchase price to all of those items. Then you run an inventory report and we calculate that value for you. If you're doing a spreadsheet, you're going to have to figure out the math for based on the sale date, when the item sold, when you purchased the item, at December 31st, how much value of inventory did you have? So like it's doable, but it does require some work and some thinking.
All right, guys, last call for questions. Any last ones?
All right. Regarding consignment sales, if not logging as COG, is COG 0 for that sale? Did you say their share is logged as an expense? That's correct. Yeah. So the purchase price for that sale would be 0. And then you would record the commission payment to them in the expense detail. All right. Ooh. All right. So I just received, without prior notice, a message from QuickBooks that they've doubled my monthly fee. So I'm looking to try My Reseller Genie. I only need money in and money out with profit and loss report. Does My Reseller Genie have this? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So if you have questions about anything specific, definitely reach out to us. We're very responsive to emails. But yeah, you can absolutely do this in My Reseller Genie, and it will cost you a fraction of what QuickBooks costs.
Yeah, and let's just talk about the pricing really quick because we haven't done that. So My
Oh,
Reseller
yeah.
Genie is really affordable. We have 3 plans right now. Basic starts at $9.99 a month, and we really don't recommend basic unless you are just wanting to track a few items like of inventory and sales. But premium and ultimate, they cost $14.99 a month or $19.99 a month. Ultimate has all the integrations. Premium does have bank integration. But yeah, you can go onto our website, to our pricing page and see all the details about what you'd be getting with those plans. You can cancel anytime. We do not have a free trial right now. But we do have 14-day money back guarantee. So think of it like a free trial, because if it doesn't work for you, you get all of your money back. Just shoot us an email. And yeah, guys, we would just love to help anybody here. And again, we have a demo of the My Reseller Genie software coming up in about 2 weeks. So make sure to check that out as well.
All right, let's see what else we got.
All right, just a few more, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Can
Yeah,
we go back to the tax question real quick, the sales tax question? Because
Yeah.
I researched some stuff. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to like clarify. So in a sense, why y'all are confused, or why I confused all of you, and I didn't mean to, sorry, is
Really?
yes.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I just want to interrupt you really quick. Can you just clarify what the question was in case some people have
The
gone out?
one, if you go to a thrift store and you pay sales tax, can it be included in your cost of goods? So
Gotcha.
it can get tricky. And like I kind of said, yes, in a sense, put it in your purchase price. But here's the thing that I was researching while you guys were doing your thing. Sorry, multitasking. Is some states you have to break it down. In some states, they don't even like have you include it at all. So again, it does come down to your state may require you to have it completely broken out and know exactly the sale tax you paid for that receipt. I didn't mean to misword earlier. I think I got myself all confused. I'm sorry. This cold has me a little brain foggy. But at the end of the day, most likely you can include it in your purchase price, but please make sure your accountant knows what your state is, because I personally do all 50 states, and that's why for me the answer is kind of wonky. Whereas like Paul said, for Maryland they do it this way. Absolutely. But every state can be different how they want you to do it. They even sometimes have you pull it out on your Schedule C and put it in a special line on your Schedule C. So again, just talk to your accountant and make sure they know your state, because it could be funny. But for like Maryland, you can just put it in your purchase price.
Cool.
Hopefully that clears it up. And I'm sorry I confused people. I feel that.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so Rebecca is asking benefit versus risk of not having all death pile items listed as inventory. What are your thoughts on this?
So benefits, it gets added. Well, again, it depends on if you're doing cash or accrual method. Because for accrual, you want all your death pile items in there in a sense, or at least have an idea of what your numbers are at for your death pile. I have some clients who have a separate sheet for their death pile and don't put it in My Reseller Genie. That's just how they work. But we know their numbers. So at the end of the year, if they're doing accrual, we can add those numbers into their ending inventory. So it doesn't quite match with what's in My Reseller Genie for obvious reasons. But so it really just depends on yours. But you really should have your inventory. But if it's not listed, at least have it somewhere so you know your numbers. And you know what's sitting to the side.
Nice. All right. So are we ever available by telephone? My emails can be rather long and timely to prepare. We do not offer phone support. Our email support is great. We get back to you within 24 hours. We find that's the best way to serve our customers at the low rates that we charge. And you'll have a written record so you can go back if you forget the answer to a question. All right, so Kimber, that's an awesome name.
Yeah.
If I start using MRG today, can I go back and input info from the last few months, or would everything start fresh today?
Great question.
Yeah, very great question. You can absolutely go back and input prior info. you can pull info for the whole last year. I know that there have been, certain like eBay solutions in past where you can only pull 3 months of info. It's not the case with My Reseller Genie. You can pull the whole last year. You can pull 2022. And it's very easy to do that. It's a couple clicks of a button. All right. So Courtney, if we schedule a tax prep session with you, does that include filing of taxes?
So they're two separate things in a sense. The tax prep meeting is where you and I meet, we get to know each other, we go through my requirements for you, your requirements for me in a sense. And we talk about everything. And then in that meeting, we'll discuss filing your taxes. They are, in a sense, two separate things. I kind of use that session also because you might not like me once we meet. So the tax prep session is kind of for us to get to know each other, learn each other in a sense, and you learn what I require of you. And in that meeting, we'll discuss the fees because my fees are different for everyone based on your, what's the word? All the stuff you have, I guess, like W-2s, investments, all that type of stuff can change your fees. And I do work with people on budgets and payment plans and all that type of stuff. So don't be afraid to talk to me.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Great. Well, Courtney, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on and powering through, even though you're not feeling well.
Yes.
It means a lot to us. It means a lot to all the folks watching. And yeah, guys, check out Courtney if you need an accountant. Or if you need someone to help with your My Reseller Genie bookkeeping, which that is an accountant. So I'm just repeating myself now.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I think that we should end with one last giveaway.
Go. Okay, that's cool.
All right. Oh, I caught him by surprise. Okay, guys, so we're going to give away one last month of My Reseller Genie Ultimate. And I'm trying to think of a question right now. Guys, this is so bad. I should just have like questions at my fingertip, and I'm always thinking about this, and then my mind just goes blank.
Paul, when you get a chance, look at Jason's question.
Oh. Good. That'll give me a second to think about the question.
Yeah.
No.
All right, you think about that question.
Right,
I'm going to answer Jason's question. Okay. So can commission be automated for eBay sales? Example, I pay 30% to a nonprofit for items I sell for them with no purchase of goods on my end for those items. Okay, yeah. So this is basically now I'm getting brain fog.
Oh, no. Right. Guys, our poor accountants here. Their questions are so good.
All right. So you're paying 30% to a nonprofit for items you sell for them. Okay. So you're basically working as a consignor. Yes, this can be automated in My Reseller Genie. So we recently, like October, added a consignment tracking feature. And so what you would do is, actually, let me share my screen and show it to you. All right. So what you do is create a vendor. And we'll just say, let's say it's a Goodwill that you're selling for. You'll check them as a consignor and then say your 30% commission, add. And then when you record a sale, test sale, $100. All right. And oh shoot, I have multiple Goodwills in here. Hopefully I choose the right one. All right. I'm going to change the name of the vendor so I can make sure I have the right one here.
There we go.
Stop.
All right. There we go. All right. So we've got a sale on January 4th. If we go to reseller reports and we click consignment commission, You'll select your consignor and then the period and run it. And you'll see a total for the sales, any refunds related to those items, any expenses, and then gross profit. And your commission will be calculated here. So we put in 30%. So what it's doing is it's taking 30% of your gross profit. And you get a whole detail of all the items underneath of it.
Yeah. Really, really cool report.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the answer to your question. Hopefully it was helpful and not too boring watching me update vendors and all that good stuff.
Oh, sweet. You were so exciting.
Oh, thanks, baby.
Yes. Okay. All right, guys. So I have thought about a question. Our last giveaway. Oh, hang on. People keep asking questions. All right. Kyle's asking, will commission ever work on sale price?
So if we have enough people asking us to make that modification, I mean, we probably wouldn't modify the whole report. We'd probably add like a setting where you could do that.
Okay.
If we have enough people ask us, then yes. But we haven't had a lot of people asking us for that yet. So it's not high on the priority list.
Yeah. So Kyle, if you really, really want it, shoot us a message. We'll add it to.
Well, Kyle's already asked for it.
Oh, he has. Okay, great. Well, good.
Yeah.
We remember you, Kyle. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. So
Kyle's determined.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. We need people who tell us what they want to see.
Yeah,
that,
we really
that helps
appreciate
us
that.
make the software better.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Last question for our last giveaway tonight. What is the date of our live My Reseller Genie demo? First person to answer correctly in the chat. First person to answer correctly in the chat wins a free month of My Reseller Genie. All right, I'm seeing some numbers, but okay, I should have clarified. I need the month and the day. The month and the day.
Is it that day?
It is that day.
All right.
Well, now you just made me give part of it away. But I also need them. Oh, wait. We did get it. I'm sorry. All right, guys. My eyeballs are not working. All right. So was it Rebecca who got it right? Rebecca Huffman. Congratulations. All right. Go ahead and shoot us an email, Rebecca, at support@myresellergenie.com and let us know that you are a winner, and we will go ahead and get you started with the free month of My Reseller Genie. Guys, thank you so much for coming. Definitely come to our next live on the 18th. If you have more questions, we will answer those. We are available via email. We have a Facebook users group, obviously our YouTube channel. We really, really care about our customers. Courtney, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Guys, everybody say thank you to Courtney, and definitely check out her scheduling link. It is in the description of this video. So if you found this was helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And anything else?
No, that's it. Just really great hanging out with you all on this Thursday evening. Thanks for setting aside the time, and hope it was really helpful for you.
Yes. Oh, and one last thing. I've been dropping this in the chat, but I haven't said this. If you're interested in signing up for My Reseller Genie, use coupon code MRGLive15, MRGLive15 at checkout, and you'll get 15% off of your first month. But it ends next Saturday, January 13th. So go ahead and take advantage of that. All right, guys. Have a great night. We appreciate you guys. Happy New Year.
Bye.